The text for the homily comes from the passage that we've just read from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 7 and verse 47. Jesus said, "Therefore I tell you, Simon the Pharisee, her sins, which were many, have been forgiven. Hence she has shown great love." And the subject is, it's all about love. Today, more than ever, we need to remember that the total message of the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, is summed up probably best in one of my favorite epistles near to the book of Revelation by John, 1 John, which says, "Let us love one another, for love is of God. He who does not love God, for God is love." Read 1 John chapter 4 and verse 7, and you will see those words there. That pious Pharisee Simon, a collector of celebrities, he did not know that. So he joined his fellow scribes and Pharisees by viciously criticizing Jesus, as he said, "He is a prophet, and he is eating and drinking with sinners and tax collectors and all the lowlifes in the community." And the master of love quietly pierced his callous heart by saying, "Simon, don't you know that those who are well don't need a physician? It is those who are sick. And that the Son of Man did not come to call and to save the righteous, especially the self-righteous, but sinners." Our ancestors knew what we today need to hear anew, don't we? Where love is, there God is. For God, who sent his Son, Jesus Christ, into our world, is love. So they celebrated the fact that they knew that God is love, and that the amazing love of Jesus Christ is what we are marked off by and what is the foundation of our faith. In that beautiful song that I'm sure you all know, "He looked beyond my fault and saw my need." That's what Mary Magdalene was shouting through her joy-filled tears, wasn't she? What a gospel story. A wise person who got that message as the essential teaching of the gospel said this: "Faults are thick when love is thin." Another one said, "A real friend is one who, when you have made a fool of yourself, doesn't think that you have made a permanent job." And yet another says, "People need loving the most when they deserve it the least." That's the heart of the gospel, isn't it? Paul, the persecutor and a former Pharisee himself, celebrated that fact when he said, "While we were still sinners, Christ died for us." That's the message of the gospel, isn't it? Let me end by telling you a story. I was reading in NT magazine about a young, bright, teenage woman whose name is Charlotte, who came home from school one day and told her parents the always devastating story that she is pregnant. Her mother, with her heart throbbing, asked her, "Are you absolutely sure that you're pregnant?" She nodded and said, "I took several pregnancy tests and they all came out positive." The father cleared his throat and asked in disbelief. He said, "How did this happen? I mean, how could this happen to you, the role model in your class, in your youth group at church? Other parents come to us because they have troubled children, and they always are asking, how did we succeed to make you so perfect? How did we do it?" And Charlotte started to sob when her father said that. Her mother walked across the room, knelt in front of her, and said, "Sweetheart, you know we love you." The father got up, neither condemning nor condoning, hugged them both. And the Bible says, doesn't it? Where sin abounded, grace abounded all the more. Grace and love is what it's all about, isn't it? That, my friend, is what Mary Magdalene, whom Simon the Pharisee condemned, but Jesus loved and forgave on that occasion. She became the first one at the resurrection tomb on Easter morning. And when Jesus called her by name and said, "Mary," and she grabbed him and hugged him, she realized that he was not dead, he was risen, and was filled with love for her and for all of us. And so she ran from the tomb and told to all the disciples, becoming the first apostle of the resurrected Jesus, Mary Magdalene. It's all about love, isn't it? And so I invite us this morning, as we celebrate using the beautiful hymns that women have written, "More love to thee, O Christ,"